Hi, this is Jenny Spinner. I am Chief Editor of Snack Food and Wholesale Bakery, and this is Liz Parker Kuhn.
Yep, senior editor, snack food, wholesale bakery, and candy industry.
And we are mostly recovered from the National Confectioners Association's big annual shindig, Sweets and Snacks Expo in Indianapolis. And I perish the thought of like actually grabbing my bags of samples and weighing them because it's an embarrassing amount. Well, I donate a lot. I donate a lot, but in there, in those samples, there's a lot of really cool innovation. Liz, also lots of samples. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we saw. Well, let's start off with what was your general impression of the show? This is your third or fourth Sweets and
Yep,
Snacks Expo.
yep. This is my third, so it's my second in Indianapolis. The first was in Chicago. Last year's in Indianapolis. So this year, I felt like the show was a little easier to navigate. I think because I'm now used to the layout. Because
Hmm.
last year I would constantly be exiting doors and be like, "Where am I?" Because they had like one big section and then a
Yeah.
little section and then another big section. But I thought it seemed like a good turnout. Tuesday and Wednesday, it seemed like a lot of people were there. Thursday was slower, but
Hmm.
that's not unexpected because it's the
Yeah.
last day. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I'm with you on the organization of the Indianapolis Convention Center, and I think the NCA does a really good job of organizing it. But
Hmm.
there's a couple things like I would be in room 130, and then I would have a minute or two to get to 127. You might think that 127 is right there or right around the corner. It is clear at the other end of the meeting room space. So I put a great deal of miles on my shoes just because I would forget that these things aren't always arranged logically. But that you get that at Anaheim is confusing too. The Anaheim Convention Center. Las Vegas is vast, so it's
Yeah.
easier to get around sensically, but you're still going to put some miles on your sneakers. But we're not here to talk about our myriad complaints. We're here to talk about innovation, and there was a lot of stuff on display, just hundreds of exhibitors, and they're all putting out, almost all of them are putting out new stuff, and it was fun to follow the trends. Oh gosh. So it's not like pickle is a new flavor. Pickles have been in existence for centuries. This is my cockatiel, Lenny Briscoe. Oh, he had an
Making a
appointment.
cameo.
Oh my gosh. Okay. One moment, please. Life getting in the way. Um, Pickles are not a new flavor, but they're having a moment, them pickles. Pickles on everything from lip balm picked up at the Van Houten's, pickle in a pouch booth. So ConAgra had a new product that they weren't not ready for prime time yet, but something to look for in coming months. They have their dill pickle puffs. This is a spicy version of that. So pickle being combined with other things. Did you see any cool pickle stuff, Liz?
I did, and I should have brought it for my show and tell. You can't see, but over here I have a bunch of candies lined up. So I happened to pass by the Hippies booth, and they're
Hmm.
doing they do chickpea puffs as we've written about
Hmm.
before, and they have a pickle flavor, and it's not spicy pickle, just regular pickle
Yeah,
flavor. So they were giving out full size bags, like big bags, and I was
right.
like, it was the last day. I'm like, do I have room in my suitcase? And I'm like, I will make room
Yeah.
because it sounded really good. And I know we've
Hmm.
written about that, but I haven't tried them yet. So that was
Yeah.
the big pickle innovation. I haven't seen any pickle candies, although that's not entirely true. Who was it? It was Mod Borup. They did like maybe half year ago, they did like a pickle flavored gummy, which I still haven't eaten, but I have the
Hmm.
sample. But I'm not sure the world is ready for pickle candy yet. So
Oh, well, they better be ready because, and I'm going to ask Brett to put up this picture. I was at Five Below over the weekend and they have an entire pickle section in Impulse Alley, the gauntlet that you have to run when you have your purchases in your hands and you're about to check out. It's candy and some seasonal stuff. But as you are at the register, you turn around, there's just nothing but pickle stuff. I'll put that up. I have a container of the dill pickle cotton candy, which I'm an
oh yeah.
adventurous eater. I'm a little flavor fearful of that. But Pickles are having a moment. And I think that we've seen the last couple of years, spice with a twist, gochujang, is a
Yep.
Korean garlicky spicy thing. Oh gosh, tahine. Holy cow. So here begins the show and tell. Snack Club has been putting tahine on some sweet stuff. Tahine is a spice that's been on a lot of savory stuff, but Snack Club started with their peach rings, one of my favorite non-chocolate impulse things, but Vanna White. Snack Club,
Ooh, yep.
chocolatey mini pretzels with tahine, and that is a thing that the only reason I didn't rip that open is because I was saving it for our show and tell. So, spice continues to be, you saw a lot of spice too, right? But you're not
Yeah,
a spice
so
girl.
I'm not a Spice Girl, but my husband
Okay.
is. So I was gonna say the Snack Club I'm familiar with because they sent me some, and some of the stuff was gluten free. So I pawned it off on some friends who are
Okay.
gluten free, and they
Nice.
all loved it. I don't think the pretzels were, but there were like tahini flavored like gummy bears, and I want to say there
Uh-huh.
was chocolate on it too. And then the pretzels and there were like corn clusters. I think those were all big hits when I brought them places. But as for spicy candy, I was at Nassau Candy's booth. They do a lot of bulk candy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something my husband hasn't tried yet, but it was like spicy blue raspberry gummies. And I thought that was really
Okay.
interesting because I haven't seen that before. But yeah, like a lot of people are doing tahine. I think Edible Arrangements just did something with them,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, fruit, but they also had like cheesecakes and things with it on. So lots
Yeah.
of spicy, lots of spicy snacks. So in my spare time, I'm a influencer, meaning I'm
Yes.
on Instagram a lot and I have a blog. And
Yeah.
I was following a lot of the influencers who were at the expo, and they were posting a lot of like the spicy snacks, which I found interesting.
Yeah, I know that this is not product related, but based on stuff that I saw on LinkedIn leading up to the show, I'm not sure about NCA specifically, but the brands are starting to actively court influencers more often. And Hershey sent out a really cute package of branded Hershey stuff with a couple of new products. And one influencer posted that Hershey, I believe,
Yep.
shared it. I saw, uh, and please, my sympathies go out to these mascots, but there was an influencer who was just bossing the Cheez-It mascot, guy dressed up like a Cheez-It around during the parade of mascots. And she's just like, here, hold these. And the guy can't see, or girl, you don't know who's inside that costume, couldn't see. And
Right.
they're just kind of like, you couldn't see their face, but you could tell by the way that they were like, what's going on? This tiny little blonde woman bossing this mascot around. It's like, haven't I suffered enough? But it's the influence of influence. There's a reason why they call it influencers, is because they actually can help drive trends via TikTok, Reels to a lesser extent. And whether they are establishing the trends or just picking up and exploding them, it's really hard to ignore that these people really have an impact on consumers and what is ahead and even future products. Um, Another, in addition to pickle everything, tahine and spice on an unexpected spice,
Mhm.
protein and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Um, Liz, I believe, posted about the Kardashian popcorn cloud. It's
Mhm.
KH.
Or Chloe.
Well, they can't spell. Yeah, it's because of Chloe, and Chloe spells it KHL. Um, I was interested to try it, and I still haven't because they weren't sampling. They were handing out, being very generous with the bags. Whey protein isolate, in case you're wondering what it is. It's 7 grams of protein on popcorn, and one of the reasons why I wanted to try it, it was like, is it a kernel of popcorn with this much whey protein isolate on it? Um, I have yet to open it. Ooh, if do you have a bag? We could do an on-air tasting.
I gave my bags to my mom because she likes popcorn, so I give her all my
Yeah.
popcorn samples. But I
No.
had some interesting stuff. So an influencer posted about the Texas Roadhouse booth, and it's not their booth.
Mhm.
It's a company that's licensed to make their stuff. And
Oh,
I was like,
sure. Yeah, that you
ooh,
see that a lot in Marie Callender's doesn't make their frozen foods. They contracted. I
yeah.
wrote about that in another life, but Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so I was like determined to find this and I didn't know who the manufacturer was. So I was just kind of wandering the expo on the last day and I came across them and I
Hmm.
was like, I love Texas Roadhouse, I'm super excited. And they were like, "Oh, take this, like there's jerky, there's all this stuff." But
Uh-huh.
they had me try a protein chip and it was made out of chicken and it was quite good. It actually tasted like bacon, like crispy bacon. So I really
Yeah,
liked that. And it had something like, I don't know, 14 grams of protein per
that's
serving. And I was like, that's really good.
that is a
So,
lot. Um, yeah, no, it's interesting to see the March of Protein, and there was a LinkedIn post that crossed my feed because a lot of people connected to me or topics that are related to snacks. Some guy just went off on cloud popcorn. He's like, "Why are the Kardashians in my feed again? I can't escape those." Expletive. Won't say it here. You can imagine. And why is protein in everything? Hasn't this gone on long enough? And I was like, if you are a woman, especially if you're a woman of a certain age, you will have your doctor tell you get more protein. So, uh, you can only eat so many protein bars. You can only have so many protein shakes, and some of them are delicious. So, when you're reaching for a snack, even if it's an indulgent one, and there's an extra boost of protein, that very well might grab your attention. And this says big as bejesus, 7 grams of protein right in the middle. So, this is something that somebody like me thank you, Dr. Malik, for reminding me to get my protein uptake up. And thank you, Khloe Kardashian, for making it possible. I don't know.
I was
Oh,
oh sorry,
sorry.
I was gonna say one protein thing and I should have brought for show and tell, but I don't, but I have pictures. So on the candy side, Hershey
Oh,
is doing Fulfill
yeah.
Bites and they're doing Fulfill chocolate peanut butter made with Reese's. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
sounds tasty. And I think they did give us samples.
They
And then
did.
the Fulfill Biggest Bar with 20 grams of protein, 2 grams of sugar, and 3 to 4 grams of net carbs. So
Hmm.
that sounded interesting as well.
Yeah, they did. It's some of the bigger brands. We might repeat products. We might mention more than one product from Hershey or Mondelez or
Yep.
whatever like that.
They're so
It's because
diverse now.
Um, some of the companies will had stuff that came out as new before the show. Some
Yep.
of the companies announced that things that are like this is available now at the show. Um, as Liz can attest, and you might have noticed, they Hershey, one of the companies that we visited together, like a big binder this thick of new stuff that's either
Yeah.
just out, about to
This
be
is the new
out, or
stuff.
later that year. Yeah, it's crazy. And a lot of the stuff is so new. This is one of the, I might as well. Dots, pretzels, one of the brands that they've acquired in recent years. They have a buffalo flavor coming out, and it is so new that it is in super secret plain packaging,
Super
like a
secret.
dirty magazine sent to your house, plain wrapper. Yeah. So that's one of the perks of our job. One of the reasons why Liz and I, we have friends that are super jealous of what we do for a living is we get to see these things. So look for Dots pretzels. Do you have any, were you going to share any of those other secret? Oh, one of my other ones is, as you mentioned, Hershey has done some fun stuff with mixing the brands. Um, Previously, they own one, which is a functional protein brand. And a couple months ago, they released Reese's branded bars. Did a very good
Yeah.
job of decent
So
nutritional
good.
profile with the original, the peanut butter flavor. It's not just peanut butter, it's Reese's peanut butter. This is another thing that I eventually will bite into this, but it's a Hershey's one bar. So two Hershey's brands crashing into each other. Um,
I will show you my super secret white packaging. I have some from Hershey. So I have the Shakalicious XL gummies, but as you
uh-huh.
can see, they're shoe shaped
Yeah.
because they released the original ones, I want to say last year with Shaq. It's kind of fun. It's like his face, but these are
It's
his
his
shoes.
face. You're eating his
You're
face.
eating his face, and now you can eat his shoes.
His shoes.
And that's coming out in a few months. And then
Uh,
this is not super secret packaging, but they came out with Hershey's caramel.
hmm.
And I'm a little so they sent me this in the mail, and then I also got more at the expo. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I'm
like,
sharing those.
maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sharing
Well,
these. But what I find interesting about these, they said it's perfectly made, perfectly shaped for s'mores, which
it
is kind of
is.
fun.
Yeah,
So
and
that's a
The
good idea.
brand, well, the Brandley that we talked to, please forgive me if I'm forgetting her name. The She said that s'mores are messy.
Hmm.
Deal with it. And so this is kind of like leaning into that. It's like, can you imagine the decadent feeling and the of like eating a s'mores, a legit like roasted marshmallow, not cheating, like putting the marshmallow in the microwave like I do, because I don't have a patio. But the caramel and the marshmallow and then the chocolate just like going everywhere. And it's like, yes, yes, I can.
People do that with Reese's, I've heard too. It's
Yeah.
like a elevated thing. And then switching from Hershey, I have two. So Ferrara, we gave out very nice boxes to anyone, not just media. You just show
Yeah.
up and get
It's
your
very nice
box.
of them.
Yeah. And there were two Nerds new things. There was Nerds cherry lemonade, which I haven't tried yet, and there were Nerds
Gummy
berry
clusters.
punch. Yeah,
It's gummy.
berry
It's
punch rush.
Yeah. It's important to point
NGC.
that out because the Nerds gummy clusters are the Nerds rope has been around since well, at least your childhood. I'm so much older than you. That when I was a kid it was just Nerds. But then the expansion of the brand in recent years, the gummy rope, but now the gummy clusters are like apparently super popular. So they're leaning into that with new flavors like those.
There's
Um,
also so I'm not it's not under embargo till next week, but they did exhibit it at Sweets and Snacks, and this should be live after next week anyways, I'd assume. So Lemonhead is coming out with ropes. And I was like, when I got the press release, I was like, didn't this come out last year? And they were like, yeah, it's like just now actually coming out on the
mhm.
market. So
Okay.
we'll be
Yeah.
posting about that, but not till next week. And then while we're on the topic of Ferrara, another trend is freeze dried. So we got
Oh,
lemon
yeah.
heads freeze dried, spree freeze dried,
Yeah.
sweet tarts freeze dried, and then
Yeah.
a non freeze dried sweet tarts chewy double takes, which looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of new stuff going on
Yeah.
right now.
Not to bring up Hershey again. If you keep coming out with new stuff, we're going to be talking about the new stuff. Um So, was it last year or the year before? Freeze-dried companies everywhere, and freeze-dried candy takes up a good section of the candy section at Five Below and other places. But it was contractors taking the candy and blowing it up themselves, and now I would call that a trend. Ferrara, Hershey, um, Skittles, the brands are popping their own freeze drying
Yep,
their own stuff. So that is interesting.
Skittles.
When the big brands do it, that means they bet on this staying around for a bit. Um, I was going to, you mentioned hippies, cheesy cheddar. Better for you innovations continue. Hippies is notable because, well, Liz just went through her third tour of duty at Sweets and Snacks. This was my 15th or 16th, just because luck of the
Mm.
draw. Freelancing full-time jobs keep taking me to Sweets and Snacks. And uh, Hippies is one of those companies that I started talking to them when they were just a 10 by 10. Eventually, they added like an Airstream trailer looking thing. And now they have a bigger booth. So it's really interesting. One of the things about going back repeatedly is seeing the companies that grow and resonate with consumers. The other side is, and I won't mention names, sometimes there's companies that I meet and I'm like, oh, these guys, I wish the best for them. And then they don't last. But
Mm.
um, one of the highlights of the show is the most innovative new product awards. I don't remember
Yep.
the acronym, forgive me. The Best in Show winner, Molly Bees. Molly Bees is a cupcake company, but she's got cookies, and they're prepackaged. They remind me of the big old cookie renaissance that we're having with chains like Crumble, Chip City. Just big cookies. You need the help of several friends to eat them because they're like so big and
Mm.
decadent. She makes cookies like that, fun cookies like that, but these are Molly Bee's Boba Doodles. They're cookies in flavors like blueberry muffin and cold brew coffee, and strawberry, but there's pieces of boba from the boba drinks in them. Super fun. Couldn't the people could not be nicer. So I'm looking forward to connecting with Molly B herself or whoever at the company will talk to me because they're doing fun stuff. A growing company that beat out. hundreds of other products. So well done, Molly.
I
Did you get a
saw
chance to try those?
no, sorry. I was gonna say I saw them. I think in my head I was pronouncing it as like Molly Buzz or something. And then the other thing that I was gonna talk about, so they always do another competition called the 5x5, and they do it for
Hmm.
snacks and they do it for candy. And I was looking at my notes just now. The 5x5 snacks, it was a lot of protein, unsurprisingly. They had another
Yeah.
mochi brand. It was called Mochi Love, and they make creme clouds with rice flour. And then they had a jerky stick. Sorry, the lawn people are like right here. Can you hear or no?
No.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna keep talking normally. So they had something called agro power sticks and jerky, and they were plant-based. And generally for like plant-based things, I find it to be a little hit or miss. Like comparing, like I
Hmm.
feel like if you're trying to compare it to like meat snack consistency, it's not gonna hold up sometimes. But theirs was pretty interesting. They had us try a teriyaki flavored one, and I thought it was pretty good. So that's another protein thing. And then they had, let's see, they had some like chips, and then they had Evie's Texas pecans, which were pretty good. There was only 4 grams of sugar per bag.
Hmm.
So a lot of interesting new like startup type brands there.
Yeah, there's a lot of meat snacks. And one of the things that I do, and this is a warning if we ever have any future meetings at shows, I will ask you about your products and I will ask you about what your favorite offering is, but then I will also ask you, have you gotten around to see what's cool and what's good? Meat snacks everywhere. And while the remembering back, oh, 2 months ago or however long it was to the last time we focused on meat snacks, the meat snack category is relatively flat in terms of sales, but what we're seeing is there's a lot of innovation by the big guys, and then clean label companies are popping up. Established ones are growing, and then new companies who are focused on clean label, clean preservatives are popping up. Vermont Smoke and Cure is in that space, and then some other companies. The existing established players keep innovating, though. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is if you've got a kid
Everywhere.
who's like younger than millennial and they're just won't get off of YouTube, he's one of those guys. Feastables candy in the BFY space, but um to the I won't name names again, but I was in the Jack Link's booth with somebody else and I saw Mr. Beast. And if you know a guy from YouTube, but also know his chocolate, to see his face in a booth associated with that seems a little strange. But this guy has millions of loyal followers, so I would not be surprised if they are don't care. Put your face on anything, we'll buy it.
I
Um,
was looking for my picture. So this was the booth. You've got
yeah.
Mr. Beast, and
Hmm.
it says in stores, Mr. Beast and Jack Links this fall, but I didn't actually try the product.
No, they didn't
That's
have
not the
samples
PB
yet.
and that's not the PB&J then, right? That was a different
No, oh,
product.
that was a fun thing. So, this was I thought creative. Jack Link's had a couple of flavors of jerky. They have their Duos line. I don't have any to hold up, but Duos puts two flavors
Same.
in a package. And they were sampling those, but the other thing they were sampling and they were asking the impressions of people that tried them, peanut butter and jelly and another flavor that they ran out of the samples because not everybody was. If you were adventurous enough to try the peanut butter and jelly jerky, the person sampling asked you your opinion, and I think I got, well, I mean, my opinion of the quality was I got three samples. She was fine with it. But maybe a little bit salty. But look, yeah, look, you've got a captive audience of thousands of people coming through your booth. Why not use them for just like simple feedback on
Yeah,
prototypes?
feedback.
So I thought that was interesting. I'm trying to think, do you have more products? I have another product.
I have 2 more products. I will
Okay.
say with the PBJ jerky, a lot of the influencers posted about that, and there's one I like. I think she's like Munch with Des. She's in New York, and her face, I think this is the one she thought was just okay, and her face was funny. She was like, I don't know about this,
Yeah.
but I didn't try it. I walked by it was hard not to walk by the booth because it was
Uh-huh.
kind of in between the two sections and I wanted to try it. I just didn't have time. So two things. This one's not entirely new, but I find it interesting. So I had a meeting with Hai Chew. So these are
Hmm.
Hai Chew gummies. I do
Yeah.
not have the non-sour because they've already been devoured. Um, and
Nice.
I am a fan of Hai Chew. Like as a consumer, I'm a fan of Hai Chew. They're coming out with all sorts of different flavors. The big news from the show is they're adding one flavor to each of their multi-packs, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So new flavors. They came out with a blue raspberry flavor. They came out, I think I made them laugh because they came out with, I think it was like a fantasy mix or like a tropical mix. And
Mhm.
one of them was Mai Tai flavored. And I'm eating this and I'm
Mhm.
like, this doesn't have alcohol in it, does it? Like it tasted so good. Like it tasted like the drink.
Yeah.
But like a few months ago, or maybe it was last year at Sweets and Facts, they came out with gummies and their
Mhm.
gummies are pretty interesting. It's like this one says green apple, pineapple, and watermelon, and the flavors inside. And it's a much different eating experience because it's very, like
Mhm.
regular haichu is chewy, obviously, but this is much softer.
Sure.
And I really like both the sour and the non-sour varieties. So I
Yeah.
found that to be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Dubai chocolate,
Oh
the
yeah,
pistachio filled
everywhere.
chocolate. I had not tried Dubai chocolate until the show. And then I'm like, it's
Oh,
okay. Why is everybody
I like
going
it.
crazy about, I
Yeah.
mean, why is it a craze though? Why are people going crazy
Yeah,
over this
it's very
craze?
expensive
It is.
too. It's like $20 for a
Yeah.
bar.
Well, it's coming down. It's Hershey, Nestle, those companies haven't come out with their own bar. A lot of the people offering Dubai chocolates and their twist on it were importers. This is a brand from Osiris. It's an
Oh, I
American,
think
they're an importer, but country of origin distributed by a Canadian company, made in the USA. That's interesting.
um I think sorry, I think Lint actually is coming out with one or they were advertising it. I didn't get to talk to them about
Yeah.
it though.
Okay. Um, I have, let's see, I'm trying to think of other things that I noticed at the show. Also, one of the things that I do every year is take pictures with as many mascots as I possibly can. That's not a trend though, that's just a hobby. Uh, Liz is in the candy space, so she knew about these people before I did. But Facebook, social media listening always. I've had this company with a terrible, brilliant name. You decide. I will not comment. Hornbles, Chormbles. And my house is fiercely divided, and I won't say what side I'm on. That's a ridiculous name. That's a great name. I will say, as somebody who's trying to eat less sugar, so I'm a sweet tooth person who's trying to eat less sugar. So when you get zero sugars, zero added sugars, 100 calories on a bar, you're going to want to try it. And they have figured out what actually there's a Belgian chocolatier not too far from my house, and that's where I go to get good sugar-free chocolates. And she's like, yeah, when you put something in it, when you put an inclusion, like pecans, she puts roasted pecans in her no sugar added chocolate, that distracts you from the whatever weird off flavor. She's Belgian chocolatier. She's got high standards. So Hormel's Charmels all have rice inclusions. Um, or this one does, I believe.
Oh.
If- But yeah, it's 100 calories per bar. Allulose, I believe, is the sweetener. So not everybody tolerates monk fruit as well. But the taste was really good. And I like, if you were a kid of the 70s and 80s and you remember what generic products in stores used to look like, I love the black and yellow. And these little colored half moons are what signifies the flavor variety, the plain packaging. And they're nice people. I guess would I still be talking about this if they were jerks to me in the booth? Like, ugh, go away, lady.
They were at the 5x5 for candy.
Yeah.
We had written about them
Oh, okay.
before, so I was familiar with them,
Yeah.
but they
I
passed out
thought I.
samples and I was surprised how good it tasted. Like it didn't taste like a sugar-free chocolate
No.
and sometimes I can't tolerate like the fake sugars too, but I was fine with it. But the crispiness, I noticed the crispiness and I didn't really think about it, but now that I think about
Mm.
it, it kind of reminds me of like a Crunch Bar, like with
It's
the
very
Rice
much like a crunch bar.
Krispies.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that it's great that it has like no added sugar though. So
Yeah.
that makes it
And
unique.
the blend of allulose and a little bit of monk fruit. The friends at Icon Foods have explained to me before, in my little brain, uh, when you're using multiple sweeteners at one time, you could accomplish a lot. Like one might have a wrong aftertaste, one might have like a weird chemical-like note. And using a blend of sweeteners, one can compensate for the sins of another. And I don't know if that's going what's going on here. I just know that the texture of the chocolate itself is pretty good, and that's something that I think a lot of no sugar added or zero sugar products have challenged with. Um, I mean, I was going to say I'm out of products, but I have like 100 pounds of samples over there. We've just talked
I've
about it
got
a lot.
since we're talking about chocolate, I've got
Yeah.
two things to note. So Godiva, I have samples somewhere. I think I
Yes.
squirreled them away somewhere though.
Uh-huh.
But I do have this. So they're coming out with a masterpiece collection, and this was kind of a unique booth visit. And I believe you did this too, because
Hmm.
the chef himself was there to like talk about it. And it's
Hmm.
crazy the amount of work that, has to go in. He's like, oh, I tried all these different things and we did consumer testing and it took like years and like all this
Hmm.
stuff. So they're gonna come out with Heavenly Milk Ganache, Decadent Dark Ganache, and Silky Smooth Caramel. And I
Yeah.
am not really a big like dark chocolate person, but I liked all of these, and I especially liked the caramel, which is made with their dark chocolate. And it
Hmm.
says it'll be at like Walgreens, CVS, Kroger, and more, and they will have a 15-ounce bag at Costco as well. So
Yeah.
I thought that was like it's nothing. I don't want to say it's like groundbreaking, like it's nothing that exciting, but it did taste really good, and it definitely like the way it's packaged, it looks very premium in my
Yes.
opinion. So, and that's kind
Yeah.
of what they're known for. So that doesn't totally surprise me, but
Yeah.
thought it
Well,
was pretty good.
like you said, I did the tasting with Chef Thierry, and
Yep.
the way that he explained the thought of everything, like well, I mean, if you've had enough Belgian chocolate, they're very particular about everything, the texture of the
Yeah. Everything
chocolate.
has to be.
When you have truffles, the shell is thin and delicate, but yet
Mhm.
present. So, and the shape of these is it looks like a stair step. Um,
Yeah.
so
It was
it's not just a
interesting.
round truffle, it's very premium feel, and it's got the Godiva name logo and walk me through the experience of eating it rather than because I savoring it. I really appreciated the thought that, like you said, he and the team put into it. Godiva used to have, and you might remember this, had retail stores, had a retail presence.
Yeah, that was
Um,
nice.
and
While it
I
lasted.
well, I told them that there was one in the mall close to my apartment when I lived in
Same.
the suburbs, and a treat for me after I'd gone through the arduous task of buying pants and other stuff, I would just treat myself to a four-piece box, and it would be, buy chocolates from different people, but this isn't. They still have a presence in Europe, where they're European.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but they don't plan on bringing the retail back to the US anytime
Yeah.
soon. This keeps
Bummer.
their name out in front in a way that honors their brand. They're still a premium brand in these premium looking giftable containers. But they'll be present in Target, Walmart, CVS, non-fancy places. So
Mhm.
the standout shelf presence is an interesting strategy by them. Keeping them special, staying on brand, but getting in front of retailers in a diverse amount of places. Um,
I used to love their retail store, but I abused it a little bit because every month you could go in and get one free truffle and you just had to
mhm.
have like a rewards account with them. And eventually they changed it. They're like, well, you haven't bought anything this year, so you can't have your one free truffle. But I
Yeah.
used to really like their drinks. They had like these chocolate like smoothie type drinks and they
Oh,
were really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but my
that's two
last
votes for bringing Godiva back.
yeah, yeah, that would be nice. My last chocolate sample, and this is also an overall trend, Mod Borup. We've written about them before.
Hmm.
And speaking of Dubai chocolate, they had like it wasn't Dubai chocolate per se, but it was like a pistachio one I tried at the booth. It
Oh,
was very
sure.
good. And this says Very Berry Cotton Candy Chocolate Bar. So cotton candy, like not a new flavor, but I saw a lot of it this year. Like Trident had a cotton candy flavor. A few other brands had some, and then this is kind of on trend as well. So I'm wondering if that's kind of making a like a comeback this year.
Yeah, I mean that is Sweets and Snacks is the place to find not just current pickle everything, but emerging. So gochujang is
Mm.
expanding, but that's the first place that I saw gochujang on chips. And it is, gosh, it was a pleasure. I don't know if I'm ever going to do all 3 days of the exhibits again because I'm still tired. And I
Yeah,
got back Thursday.
same.
But next year, Vegas again. So yeah, I don't know. Liz has been handling it capably for years, and you might get to go by yourself next year. But we've got an entire year to figure it out. So um, I guess just keep the new releases coming. Liz covers candy. I cover, well, we both cover snacks, but if you have new products of any sort, just send them to me, spinnerj@bnpmedia.com. Or Liz, what's your extremely long email?
Yep, mine's Parker Kuhn E at bnpmedia.com.
Until then, I'd love to hear same emails if you have thoughts about either stuff that you saw at the show, if you went stuff that you wish make you wish that you'd seen, just your thoughts about any new products or the show. Send them along. Until next time, I guess we'll let you go.
Yep, see you later.